there's going to be a little bit more pressure, in my opinion, on Anders to win this game.
And do you think with the lack of experience, per se, in 1v1 tournaments such as this one, do you think that will affect Anders in any way?
I don't think so. As I said, I think he's just a ruthless player. It's just going to be a tough game. Any game's tough for you, whoever you match up in this tournament. You just have to sort of just play your game, be confident. And with FIFA, there's a lot of games that are sort of decided based on play styles. A lot of players sort of feed into that. But it's just about being confident, trusting the way you've practiced and prepared for this, and doing it on the day.
Definitely. Well, you have a chance here right off the bat, but Ronaldinho can't get through the back line.
Of course, we do have other games going on today. We do have Danny Pitbull up against the FIFA 19 world champion Marba, and it was Danny Pitbull to start off a touch downwards in at the near post, and it's a perfect start for the Italian.
Danny Pitbull obviously winning his last match 3-1. He qualified for the World Cup last year, is the E-Serie A champion and an FGS winner. So he, along with Mo Oba, are both two very experienced players.
Again, another featured match is Lenny up against Predator. There has been a goal, so we'll swing over to that there. As you can see, it was the finish from Lenny in at the near post to give him the 1-goal lead in the first 10 minutes. I think something we'll see here with Anders' play style. Whenever I've watched him, it's never really a lot of like skill combinations or anything. It's always one skill move, and that skill move is the step overs back from FIFA 21, where honestly he just reined in, and he's in on goal here. It was red time there from Anders, but that was a chance. But we're going to see a lot of step overs, a lot of ways for him to get into the box, manipulate the spaces, the speed boost from that, and get a lot of shots at goal.
I think, as you mentioned, Anders coming into this, although very young, with lots of experience, and sometimes at that young age, you do have some ruthlessness in you to, you know, do what you need to do and not care about your surroundings. And Ryan, speaking of one of our other feature matches with Lenny and Predator, I think you mentioned possibly you had played Lenny before in the past?
Yeah, Lenny's a fantastic player. I played him a few times in qualifiers online. I haven't played him in person at an event yet, but again, he's a fantastic player. He's a great person as well. So I'm not shocked to see him at one of, if not the biggest competition for the players this year in the eChampions League. There are, of course, some other games going around on the pit that I'll be able to update you on as well, for people at home focusing on or wanting to get some information on other games. You've got Montaxa up against Oberon, as I've said, a clash of the Italians. Montaxa is currently 1 goal up in the first 20 minutes. We have Oli Bolli as well. Coming off of that nerve-wracking game against Dull and Mike, it was sort of a back-and-forth game, ended up winning on penalties. He's up 1-0 against Henning as well. As we see, this game is still 0-0. We see a step over there from Anders into the space, trying to push forward.
Ronaldo is taking that ball up into space, but can he get it to the top of the box or take a shot? He does, but Van der Sar gets that easily and recycles that possession. You mentioned just briefly some of the comebacks that we saw in the last round. Well, Lenny actually had quite an incredible comeback to actually qualify for this tournament. In his qualification game, his very last one, he came back from a 3-0 deficit. Do we have a chance here? Ginola! And Antonio takes the lead.
That is a big goal. That's a big goal for Antonio. That will settle the nerves there. That will give him a boost of confidence. A grimace on the face of Anders as we take a look at the replay. That was very simple, just played across, simple passes. A shot across the goal there from Antonio, and it gives him the 1-goal lead. But just echoing on from what you were saying, Lenny ended up qualifying for this event. He was 3 goals down, ended up winning 5-4 in extra time to qualify. So there's not just been comebacks at this event, there's comebacks in order to even get here in the first place.
So obviously Antonio leading by 1-0 against Anders will give him some confidence, because I'm sure going into this game he knew what kind of opponent he was coming up against. Do we have a chance here from Anders? It is fizzled out slowly with the defensiveness of Antonio. Taking a look at one of our feature matches between Lenny and Predator. Predator has actually equalized.
It's a big goal. It's a shot in at the near post. It wasn't timed, but you don't need to at those angles. a slice of fortune in the first 30 minutes there. It was a good equalizer for Predator, as he looks to bounce back in that game. He's got his coach behind him in Marlet, who's a veteran in the FIFA scene. One of the household names in the Germans FIFA scene as well. There could be a counter-attack here to potentially make it 2 with the player lock as well.
Got a lot of space in the middle with Janola. Passes it to Pele, but can Pele get the shot away? He does. 2-0 Antonio. He must be elated.
That is an incredible goal. They're using the player lock just to bait the pass there, to force Anders to make a decision defensively. Putting players out there. He didn't know what to do. It seemed as if that counter-attack left him with a lot of defensive space to try and make up, but it's a shot again at the near post. Maybe that slight little bit of goalkeeper movement to the left, what maybe favoured the attacker there, allowed the goalkeeper, or sorry, didn't allow the goalkeeper to react in time. We'll quickly swing over to one of the other featured matches as well. Danny Pitbull up against Mo Alba. There has been an equaliser just before half-time. A ball over the top, a shot across goal from the German in Mo Alba to equalise. And there's no better time to equalise than just before half-time.
And that's what we expect of a World Cup champion that is Mo Alba. And Anders looking to make a comeback from this 2-0 deficit. Do we have a chance here? Can he get in behind with the space? But very composed defending from Antonio.
Approaching the half-time mark in this game. Last couple of minutes. Antonio pushed forward here. He'll try and just sort of keep possession and wait to see, but there seems to be some space opening up there.
And some fumbles inside the box, but Anders is able to clear it successfully. Now, how do you think he's feeling at this moment? The first half almost concluded in the first leg, trailing by 2-0. Do you think some of the inexperience with 1v1 events might be putting some pressure on him?
It's tough to say, of course. It's very difficult as well, because you can see the emotion from Anders. He's very emotive with the way the game goes, whether that's positive or negative, but it's not been the best start for him. But there's still a long way to go. We've still got 45 minutes of this leg, plus the whole of the second leg, and he's only down by 2. But it's been a great start from Antonio. You have to give him credit. He's taken his chances. He's created quite a few as well, not just the goals that he scored, and he's been decisive in front of goal.
Decisive indeed. And Anders doesn't get 535 goals and 0 losses in FUT Champs without a few comebacks, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, but it's different. This is the thing, it's very different now. The lights are on, you're on the main stage. You have to sort of deal with the pressure and not allow it to overcome you.
And we are off in the second half of the first leg in round 2. Antonio leading 2-0 against Anders. He's going to look to either score more in Antonio or redeem himself in Anders.
Yeah, definitely.
Anders, of course, coming off of a big win in the first round, and Antonio coming off of a win as well on penalties.
There's also another young player in this scene. Qualified, it was the only other player that wasn't German. I mentioned him after this attack comes to an end, but it's a great save there from the goalkeeper, bringing him out of there just to close down the angle. One of our other featured matches, of course, we've mentioned already, Danny Pitbull against Mo Alba was 1-1, but it was a breakthrough again from Danny Pitbull to restore the lead, to go 2-1 up just after halftime, a shot across goal. I was mentioning another youngster in the scene, in Eldos, is currently winning 3-1 in his game. He's another player to keep an eye on as well in this tournament. One of the top youngsters in Europe, in the world, in fact.
We have a chance here. Pele in behind, and first time shot, one touch goal, 3-0. Are you shocked? Did you anticipate?
Wow, that is it's a sort of trademark Anders goal that's gone against him. The step over into space, the shot across goal, didn't need to be timed. I don't know if there was any goalkeeper movement there. Slightly was, so maybe you might feel a bit of misfortune. I think that's where the outpour of emotion does come from, but it's 3 goals to the good for Antonio, and it's a great start.
And as Ryan mentioned, you can see the emotion in the face of Vergang. He's going to want to come back. He doesn't want to end his second game like that. Antonio, on the other hand, though, must be feeling very confident especially given this is just the first leg. A chance here from Anders, and he does get a goal back.
It's not even any celebrating. He's sort of, I think he's still frustrated after the other goals. I'm not really sure, but the celebration does come out in game. It was a reverse elastico there from Anders, just to open up the angle for the shot across goal there, and it's an easy finish to bring him back within a 2-goal deficit. There's still a long way to go. I know he seems upset, he seems annoyed, but he can definitely come back into this game.
Antonio leading by just 2 goals at the moment. As we've said so many times, 2 goals is not a lot. The easiest lead to come back from, or deficit to come back from rather, and the easiest lead to lose.
Yep. I think it's key to mention, of course, the squads that players are using. If you're not aware, they have restrictions on their squads. They can only use Champions League items in game. You can have 3 icon items as well, which I think most players are opting for towards Ronaldinho, R9 and Ruud Gullit. No surprise there. I think some players are using Pele as well, which we've seen today. And of course, you're able to use any FUT hero item in game. That could be one of the World Cup items, one of the standard ones as well. I think some players are using markers in that centre back as well. That is a different choice.
We haven't seen too many. There's a few that are using Rafa Marquez, but most have some carbon copy teams. A chance here from Anders to get 2 back. He does. You can see what it means to him. He knows what he has to do, and that's why he's on that stage.
Yeah, he's got the all-important goal just to try and get back into the game there. It was built up from the sides of the pitch, just to step over inside. And I think that's where the difficulty comes in marking Anders, because he step overs into space forward so often that you, of course, anticipate that. But this time he turns back, plays the pass, and an easy finish there from R9 across goal to leave him with only a 1-goal margin to come back from in this game from Antonio. Of course, being 3 goals up, it is difficult. I'll be honest, when you're up by 3 sort of early on, you don't really know whether to stick or twist. You don't know whether to go more defensive, be more attacking, slow the tempo down, because it's still a long way to go.
And on the contrary, losing a 3-goal lead must add some pressure and some tension to Antonio's gameplay.
Yeah, for sure, but he would have been in situations where he's given away leads or he's came back from leads, so he knows it's possible to do either side of the spectrum, but he'll back himself to keep pushing on, to try and see if he can get another goal, just to give him more of a cushion that he, unfortunately, for his sake, gave away in this game. I wouldn't even say gave it away. I think it's just been good play from Anders and just taking the chances when they came.
We've seen Anders play with a little more confidence now, scoring 2 goals in the last 20-odd minutes. Do we see another goal before full time?
It's tough to say. You can never rule out any of these players in scoring goals. That's what they do best. That's why they're here.
Got some space here. Ronaldo does get in behind and takes the shot, equalizes against Antonio. He's happy now.
I absolutely love the celebrations. The gritty as well. It's unbelievable, I'll be honest. He's back from 3 goals down. Now the smile comes out after the celebrations. The step over, as we mentioned, into space. Goalkeeper's movement sort of made his decision as he shoots near post there into the open space. He's back now, level terms, 3 goals apiece.
Now Antonio is going to have to respond. Obviously, the game being much more open and going either way at this point. Likely wanting to get a goal before half to have a lead going into, or before full time rather, to have a lead going into the second leg. And Antonio not wanting to make too many mistakes. Wouldn't want to concede another goal either before halftime, but we might have a counter here.
Of course, we do have other featured matches going on across. And we do have Danny Pitbull up against Moalba. It was Moalba to score now to make it 3-2. There's a little chip over there, sort of a trademark Moalba goal there. It was a finish from his favoured Ruud Gullit to make it 3-2. I believe that's the end of the game. There was actually another goal. So I'm going to give an update when it comes in that game.
Anders applying the pressure now after having come back from a 3-0 deficit. Ronaldo tries to get the shot away there, but no such luck, and Lucio is able to clear.
This was a goal I was talking about in the other game. It was the Italian that did, in fact, get the goal to make it 4-2. One of the last kicks of the first leg, and it was a step over to the left and a shot across goal there from Ruud Gullit to give him a 2-goal buffer going into the second leg, up 4-2 against the FIFA 19 world champion in Mo Alba.
But Antonio carrying the ball into space here. R9 in the box with the ball, passes to Pele, gets the shot away, but Van der Sar saves well. No thanks to Anders, of course. Can he get another shot away here?
Ooh,
a little too heavy.
He's tried to clear that for a throw-in to end the game. It's actually gone out for a corner. There could be another chance for Antonio. This would be a sucker punch to concede from where it wasn't meant to be, and cleared out from Anders. What first leg we've had there, ending 3-3. A lot of emotion, a lot of celebrations.
We are off all square at 3-3 on aggregate, looking to get their second win or first loss on day 2.
See Antonio building up here, hoping to start the second leg as he did in the first. A driven pass into Arnhem Ronaldo with the skill moves, the step overs. Can he work a way to find an angle in at goal? It was a great step there from Anders to see out the danger and step with that tackle.
And Anders on the counter-attack here, carrying the ball up the line with Ronaldo and getting in behind with and a shot, but not quite enough power to break down Van der Sar.
We also have the pleasure at the venue to be right in the middle, being able to oversee some of the other results going around. You see games I mentioned earlier on, Pipe Crew up against Hezes. Is in fact Hezes leading 3-2 in the second leg in that game as well. We've got a lot of other games going on, a lot of other goals as well, so hopefully we get some updates from the other featured matches as well. But the main focus game right now, Antonio up against Anders. For those who missed it, it was a comeback from Anders, being 3 goals down. We've seen the play look again from Antonio, building up into the area, but it was good defending from Anders, but he has to deal with this corner straight away.
Capdeville looking for some space to get that ball into the box to get a shot away. Passes it to Alawiran, but can he find the space? Anders again, a good step to defend that attack. Pretty even matchup so far. We've seen some chances on both sides. And Anders looking to break in behind, but defended well by Antonio again.
Absolutely. I think the key with both of these players is just getting the ball to their strikers. I think that's where they're most dangerous. It makes sense, of course, having the strikers with the 5-star skill moves. You can be unpredictable. You could do a reverse elastico, a McGeady cancel skill move to try and open up angles and open up space. But it's just been great defending from both of these players, but there could actually be some space for Antonio to anticipate and exploit as he builds up.
Some skill moves with Ginola, but Anders is defending well again to clear that danger inside of his own box. And he's on the counter now. He has a few people going forward in Ronaldo and David Ginola, but can he get the chance away? A mistake here by Antonio, and gives him possession, and he takes the shot, has some space, but Ronaldo misses the shot with almost an open goal.
That was a huge chance. I mentioned as well another game in Oberon and Montaxa, 2 giants. And it's actually 4-0 for Montaxa up against Oberon. I was speaking to Gravison earlier on about Montaxa. We play a lot of friendly matches up against him. He seems to be a formidable opponent for many players in the FIFA Global Series, and he's showing that today at LAN in person, showing how good he is. There's still a little way to go in that game as well. And another game, another Italian, and it is Danny Pitbull up against Mo Alba in this game. As you can see, the fake shots, the keeper comes out, the green time for an open goal there, and he's up 6 goals to 2 against Mo Alba.
quite the result for Danny Pitbull and Moaba for sure. Anders looking to build up a chance here with some close and concise passes without making a mistake to regain possession. The green time Travella, but saved well by Van der Sar again.
That was great intricate passing, just utilizing driven passes straight away from the corner. I thought that was going to be a mistake there. The defender missing the header, but that was a mistake in fact. Trying to play it back to the goalkeeper, wasn't meant to be, as Anders keeps piling on the pressure here.
Ronaldinho with the shot away, but defended very, very well by Antonio. Again, out for another corner. Ronaldinho with some space, and Anders rather takes the lead. You can see the emotion.
The celebration comes out. I'll be honest, if I'm Antonio, I'll be upset with that one. I think he defended it pretty well. The defender sort of got animated and backflipped, in fact, out of the way, but it was a chance that Anders had to make use from, and he goes and takes the lead. He's up by 4 goals to 3 now. The celebration comes out, the pointing to the temples on the side of his head to show the mentality. But an update in another game we just saw. Goals galore in this game, in fact. It is Moaba up against Danny Pitbull. There was a goal back from Moaba to make it 6 goals to 3. We do have the second half left to be played, but it was a neat finish under the goalkeeper. 3 goals to make back in the second half. We've seen Moaba do crazier things, so it's going to be difficult up against someone as good as Danny Pitbull, but anything is possible.
Antonio looking to get a goal back now to equalize the scoreline again, but can he create some space? Anders has lots of bodies back. Pele tries to get the ball to R9, but again, Anders is very solid in Lucio and Rafa Marquez and does not let him through.
Good defending there. Also good attacking in a way that he didn't rush the pass. He sort of waited to see if there was any space. Bided his time with the area. But as we say, great defending there from Anders. Not to pull any defenders. Just sort of running players back into position, so there's no real space to exploit for Antonio.
Fede Valverde, another consistent item that we see being used. As you mentioned yesterday, and for those that are just tuning in now, there are certain squad restrictions for these matches, being Champions League items, heroes, and 3 icons, but not many options at right back.
Yeah, you're seeing players use the Champions League item in Valverde off chemistry. There could be this could be onside. I think it was just offside there. That's why the whistle blew for half-time. We go into the break. Anders winning 1-0 in this second leg. Up 4-3. He's turned around a 3-goal deficit right on his head to lead by 1 goal as we go into the second half of the second leg. Leah, do you think there'll be more goals?
I think so. I think at this point people won't want to make mistakes, and I think that, you know, Antonio, as you mentioned, was unlucky to concede that goal in the first half. There were some pretty humorous animations, but I think, you know, Anders isn't going to want to lose that lead, and Antonio is going to want to push hard, but doesn't want to, you know, create too much space, so Anders can exploit that.
Yep, there's other games going on. Imerta was up 4-1 up against Van Basten, and the last time we gave an update on this game, Montaxa up against Oberon. It was 4-0 to Montaxa, but it's currently 5-1 now. So there have been goals from both sides from these opponents. Or these players, I should say.
We are back with the second half in the second leg. Anders leading 4 goals to 3 on aggregate, but very, very, very close. And Anders is in here with a chance. R9 tries to get the pass to the top of the box. He passes to Ronaldinho and gets the goal. 2 goals.
He stands up, he roars, he looks around, he soaks it in. The celebration comes out again for every single goal. He doesn't stop. Again, the pass across the goal was intercepted. It fell straight back to him. Defender out of position. Again, I'll be upset, I'll be honest, if I'm Antonio. That is a difficult goal to concede. But again, as I mentioned, Anders, you have to react in time. You have to be calm and composed and make the right choices. Whether that's an easy choice in that situation or not, you have to take it when it comes. And now he's up by 2, 5 goals to 3.
And take those opportunities. He did. You saw his celebrations. You might have heard them in the background as well. But we still have a lot of time. 40-odd minutes left to go in the second half of the second leg. At what point do you think that Antonio changes some things, makes some substitutions?
I'd probably say because it's only a 2-goal deficit, maybe the 60th minute, you can start to look to see or prepare some tactics if you do not have anything available. The other game going on, we mentioned there's been 10 goals in this game, and the next goal came in favor of Moalba. The other chip here, straight to Hullet. Honestly, a carbon copy of one of the goals we saw in the first leg. But there's 30 minutes left to go in that game. Only a 2-goal deficit for Moalba to recover, which is definitely possible. So maybe it'll be a bit nervy in the last moments of the game for Danny Pitbull.
Back here, Antonio with a great pass to Pele, but defended very well by Anders and Lucio. And how do you think Anders manages this 2-goal lead in this second half to see out this game?
Anders will be happy to keep possession, just to draw out Antonio into making mistakes, pulling defenders out of position, rushing attacks.
An attack we have here. Alawiren into space, green times, but saved well by Van der Sar and Antonio with that goalkeeper movement. Another chance here off the corner. Can Ginola get in behind? He doesn't, but it is out for a goal kick.
Talking about chances, there was another one in the game. Montaxa up against Oberon is now 7-1 to Montaxa on aggregate. So that is a huge, huge result. You'd anticipate that game being done and dusted in terms of the scoreline anyway. There could be a chance for Antonio. Can he break through the defense of Anders? Trying to play passes, trying to play a perfect pass, but the perfect pass wasn't an option there. And these are the gaps we're talking about. 65th minute, maybe you apply a little bit more pressure, a few more bodies forward. It was a great recovery challenge there from Antonio.
And that's what you see for players at this level with those last-ditch tackles. If that were me, that would have been a red card.
In the game, Danny Pitbull up against Moalba. Danny Pitbull takes the lead in this leg to make it 3-2. A pass across the goal there, and an easy finish with Arnhem Ronaldo, which makes it 7-4 on aggregate.
11 goals.
11 goals in that end. There's been a lot of goals.
And as we mentioned several times before, Antonio, around this time, is going to want to make some tactical changes in order to regain some sort of momentum without creating too much space, which obviously will lead to a potential mistake. And a chance here from Pele. Lots of space for Antonio. That is exactly what he needed at this moment in the game.
That's a big goal, a big moment. The space just opened up. The amount of players in the box there felt as if he could have done many things there to create the chance. He chose an option that led to the goal there. You can see the passes, the ball roll towards the byline, just waiting his time. An extra pass across goal to an easy finish. An open net there as Van der Sar was moved out of the way there from Anders, anticipating a shot across goal. We've also seen a last-minute goal. Pipe Crew up against Hezzers, winning 4-1 in the second leg, 5-4 up on aggregate. So that's a huge game. Another game coming to a close potentially in the second leg. It is heading up against Oli Bolly. It's currently 2-2, so there's 5 minutes left to go in that second leg. We could be seeing extra time or penalties if a winner isn't there.
Lots of high-scoring games around the studio today, but our main stage game, several goals still, I would say.
We think there's several goals left? There could be some more goals,
No,
I think.
Still.
Yeah, of course. 9 goals is a lot of goals. I think Anders will be trying to anticipate what Antonio will be doing to try and push forward. There's going to be gaps, there's going to be spaces to exploit for Anders, but Antonio pushing bodies forward. If he gets the ball in and around the area, he needs to make it count.
And Anders here looking to have another chance to solidify his lead, but won't want to rush anything to give possession. Ronaldinho with a quick turn takes the lead. Indeed, you have to love the roller coaster of emotions that you're seeing from Anders behind you.
He's amazing, I'll be honest. I love the celebration, just standing up, just laughing, having fun. Played into Ronaldinho. The reverse elastico we've seen in the first leg, scoring a goal very similar, but he makes it look easy. He makes it look very easy to do that, but he turns in, he reverse elastico, as you said, and a shot past the goalkeeper. 13 minutes left to play. We need 2 goals from Antonio to come back into it. It's going to be a tough ask to create 2 chances, let alone 2 goals. So again, as I said, if he makes those chances, he needs to make it count.
Definitely some more games coming to you around the pit. Dylan Mike actually trailing for his 2nd game in a row, losing on pens in the last match and trailing in the 2nd. Do you think he would be surprised with that result?
Absolutely, of course. Dylan Mike is a fantastic, fantastic player who's shown it over the years. There's going to be another update, potentially the last one in this one. It is, of course, Danny Pitbull up against Moalba. There was a lot of goals in that game, and it was Danny Pitbull who ended up coming out victorious up against Moalba. So that is a huge victory for him.
Is that 12 goals total?
Yep, here's the goal as we see it. It's a played ball in. There's a lot of space there. It was just a shot across goal, in off the inside of the post. A great finish there to give him the 4-goal lead, 8-4 on aggregate. These are the spaces there that we're talking about to exploit for Anders.
Exploit, he does. Green time, but saved incredibly well by Antonio, but concedes the corner to Anders once again. We're getting close to our 90-minute mark in this match, and Anders isn't going to want to give up possession now. He might play for the last attack. What do you think?
I think he's just going to go just to die the clock down here. An update as well, Storari widens the gap. He's up 4-2 against Dylan Mike. So you can hear a lot of roars around, a lot of goals, and I believe that goal is actually coming in the Pepe versus Eldos game. A huge outpour of emotion. I believe that game was concluded in the latter stages, so that's a huge, huge result if he manages to see that victory out.
For those of you that are just joining us, this is a Swiss format tournament, so each player will either have to win 3, and if you lose 3, unfortunately, your time ends this weekend. So that's a 2nd loss for Dylan Mike. He's going to want to and has to win his next game in order to continue. We can see here Anders just draining the clock for that last tackle, or that last attack rather, keeping possession, and we'll see him clear the ball at the 2-minute mark shortly.
Yeah, that is it. That is the game done. A thrilling game between these 2 fantastic players in Europe. It ends 6-4 to the good for Anders.